Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of yesterday's and as well as today's. First of all, I'll let you know important topics of the day, and later on we are going to see each and every topic in prelims and as well as mains dimensions. And at last, we are going to see even prelims practice questions on today's topics case. And online students, please don't skip this video anywhere. Please do watch until last so that you will be getting lots of insights regarding how to prepare current affairs. Okay, let us take the topics of the day. The first one is Tamil Nadu opens portal to help people facing money lenders threat. So this article is talking about one important portal came up by Tamil Nadu government, especially to help people who are facing the threats from money lenders. And this topic is important from polity and governance point of view from GS paper 2. And next topic is biotechnology can address challenges to traditional farming practices, says experts. So this article is telling about majorly applications of biotechnology in agriculture and which kind of problems that we can overcome through this biotechnology, which is given in this article, and you may get prelims and as well as mains based question from this area. And this topic is important from GS paper 3 under science and technology. And next topic is 163 children being trafficked to Maharashtra from Bihar, rescued in Madhya Pradesh. So this article is talking about child trafficking, and this child trafficking is there in your polity under fundamental rights. So here you have to say about some articles related to this child trafficking, what exactly is child trafficking is about, what are the reasons and what are the measures taken by the government so far, and you have to see legal and as well as constitutional safeguards related to this child trafficking. And this topic is important from again polity and governance from GS paper 2. And next topic is Amarnath Yatra to begin from July 3rd, registrations from 15th. So here you have to say about what is this Amarnath Yatra. On this you may get a prelims based question. And this topic is important from GS paper 1 under history. And next topic is study unravels why men experience more skin infections than women. This article is talking about one important glands which are present on your skin, that is called as sebaceous glands. Actually, this article is saying that sebaceous glands are responsible for the skin infections, and this study says why men are more often they'll get the skin infections than compared to that of women. From science and technology, they may ask you questions related to this glands and associated diseases. Already UPSC asked in that format questions in previous years, so you have to see that as well. And next topic is nature signal. There is one important species which is said in this article. So here we have to see what is that species is about. That is about sentinel species. You may get directly a prelims based question from that area, and even you have to see what is the meaning of that species, and you have to see examples of that. It is important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And next topic is delimitation and not women's reservation is the issue. This article is talking about the major problem related to this 106 Constitutional Amendment Act is delimitation. Here you may get a prelims based question related to delimitation, so we are going to see that facts in this class. So all these are the topics now we are going to see in this class. Read out the title, guys. Tamil Nadu opens portal to help people facing money lenders threat. What is the keyword? The first keyword is government came up with a portal, and why? To help farmers who are facing this problem of money lender threat. So now tell me guys, is this a problem we are seeing in this 21st century? No, right? If you see the modern history and if you read that, many a times you come across as tribal revolts, peasant revolts, etc. One important major reason for this revolts at that time was money lenders threat only, right? Because of this threat of money lenders, many people they have to pay hefty amount of interest for what they borrowed from these money lenders, and sometimes they have to surrender their property also. Because not only in modern history many a times revolts happened, right? In the same way, now also in this 21st century also, many people they are borrowing money from money lenders, especially farmers. Why farmers will borrow money from money lenders? What do you think? What are the major reasons? First one is if they want to go for institutional credit system like banking, they need to submit proper documents of land, and even the process will be like lengthy. And mostly, if they are illiterate, will they know about what is the process they have to follow and what kind of documents they have to do everything? No. So because of this reason, it is very easy for these farmers to get money from money lenders. But what is the problem with these money lenders? They have to pay high amount of interest rate, yes or no? When we compare interest rate with banks, at which banks will lend the money is very low compared to that of money lenders. But even though farmers are going and borrowing the money lender, because of this lengthy process, many a times in some remote areas there is no availability of this banking facilities as well. So because of this, what they are doing, they are borrowing the money from this money lenders. So because of this, what happens if they are not paying interest on time, or if they are not able to pay this principal amount or interest, then what happens? Obviously, this money lenders will threat this farmers. So because of this, what happens? Majorly, it may also leads to suicides. Yes or no? That is one of the major reason why there is increased suicide in our country, especially who are belonging to this farmer community. So now Tamil Nadu government opened a portal, and this portal is open for everyone. If they are facing the threat of money lenders, they can easily approach this portal and they can file their threats. That is about this article, guys. Okay, how can you use this article? How can question can be formed? There will be no direct question from this article, but whenever you are talking about suicides of farmers, when you are talking about illegal or like informal credit system in our country, you can use this money lenders, right? So to protect these people from this money lenders threat, government came up with this kind of initiative. In that way that you can use in your answer. And second type here is how government is enhancing safety and security of people. In that way, whenever you are writing any question or any essay related to what is the role of government, then also you can use this article as an example or a case study. Recently, Tamil Nadu government came up with a portal where people who are facing threat of money lenders can approach the government directly. So like that, you can use this article as a case study or example. But you have to know history of this threat of money lenders in our country. That means you have to see this revolts of farmers that you will read in your modern history point of view, guys. Okay, if UPSC wants to ask a question because of this in news, means they may ask about tribal revolts and as well as farmer revolts. Peasant revolts or tribal revolts is a possible question now in this year. Okay, are you understanding? Okay, now let us see this article in detail. Tamil Nadu government launched one online portal, and that is specially for the victims of usury. Usury means nothing but illegal or high interest money lending with coercive recovery practices. Coercive means nothing but they will force. In many movies, I think you might have seen this kind of scenes. They will be borrowing money from a money lender who will be giving money at a very high interest rate. If they are not paying, they will come to the home and they will be throwing the vessels, they will be throwing the things in the house outside, and they will be threatening them like that. So that methods are called as coercive recovery practices. Mostly money lenders, if they want to get their money back, they will be using this kind of coercive money practices. So these all will comes under usury. Okay, it enables citizens to file. This portal will enable citizens now to file complaints digitally against money lender who are using threat or harassing, or if they are using any unfair methods or illegal recovery tactics, etc. They can file their complaints now digitally. There is no need to go to any police station. Okay, that means can you use this article as an example in e-governance methods? In your ethics and even in your governance, you have this topic called as good governance, e-governance. From that point of view also, you can use this as an example. Now, there is no need of this people who are facing threat of money lenders to go to police station. Now, directly they can file their complaint by using their mobiles or digital gadgets in this portal. Are you understanding? So, in this way, you have to connect everything, guys. Wherever it is possible, whatever the knowledge you have to incorporate that. Okay, if you see about this portal operates under newly introduced Tamil Nadu Money Lending Entities Prevention of Coercion Action Act in 2005. In 2005 itself, Tamil Nadu government came up with an act to prevent this kind of harassment or coercive methods of this money lenders. And after once they came up with this act, now in 2026 they opened portal to file these complaints. And this portal is a user-friendly portal and it will be accessible via basic mobile phones. It allows victim to report from home itself without going physically to police stations or any government officers. And the key features are they can track their complaint where it is, and they can also collect data on specific illegal practices they are going in that area like that. And now tell me guys, what is the impact or what is the expected outcome of this portal? Is it good or bad? For sure it is good. Yes. Why it is good? We can control this kind of coercive actions of money lenders. Can we ensure right to life of the people or not? Can we ensure right to privacy? It is part of Article 21. Okay, first one here is it is positive for victims because it will provide safe, anonymous and quick reporting mechanism so that it will be reducing fear and it will enable more complaints which are filed by the people who are facing this kind of problems. And next one is it will also allows better data driven identification of high risk areas, in which areas this kind of problems are there. Now government can know that very easily, so that what happens, we can increase our surveillance in that high vulnerable or high risk areas, so that in future also we can prevent this kind of things. And next one is we can have a stricter regulation of lending industry now. And from social justice point of view, if you think, it can provide empowerment for the common man, especially who are poor. And next one is regardless of financial status, we can apply for this complaints now, or we can file this complaints. And next one is it will be boosting legitimate lenders to register. Okay, so that what happens, we can also go for improvement of formal lending mechanisms in this areas as well. So in this way we are going to have a good impact and positive outcome because of this portal. Say this next article guys, biotechnology can address challenges to traditional farming practices, says experts. What is the keyword in this article title? Biotechnology can address challenges to traditional farming practices. What does it mean? What does this title mean? Come on, think and tell me, what does this title mean? Biotechnology can address challenges means in our traditional farming practices, we are having lots of challenges. Yes? So those challenges can be overcome by using this biotechnology. That is the meaning of that. Now you guys tell me, what are the problems in our traditional farming practices? Come on, tell me. Online students, tell me in the comment box. Whatever the traditional farming practices we are following now, what are the challenges or what are the problems we have? First one is productivity is up to mark. No, we have less productivity. And next, what we are using more and more fertilizer, more and more pesticides, herbicides, are we using or not? There is a myth that if you are using more and more urea, DAP, more and more productivity, and they'll use more, that will lead to pollution of soil. Yes. So through these traditional practices, that is also leading to increased what? Pollution. And next one is nowadays, if you are using more and more chemicals, pesticides, what about the nutritional value of that so and so product? Is it having nutrition? If you compare the food now, if you when we are comparing that food with like 3 decades or 4 decades or 5 decades ago, is there any change in the food? Yes, a lot. So these are the common problems. First one is productivity, you are not getting up to mark. If you are not getting productivity, day by day increasing of population is happening. Can we ensure food security? For sure, no. And next one is nutrition. Nutrition is also very important. Not only taking food is important. We have to get all the micronutrients, macronutrients which are important for the sustenance of life. So we have to ensure whatever the diet we are providing, that should be nutrition, which is having micronutrients, macronutrients, everything. So here, the second one here is, the problem is nutrition is not there in our proper things. And next one here is, a major problem now which is going on, now we are facing on, is climate change. Because of climate change, what is happening? Sometimes drought is happening, sometimes heavy rainfall, sometimes floods. Yes. So because of this, what is happening? It is affecting our agriculture. So here, whatever the plants we are growing, so it should be withstanding in any climatic condition. Yes or no? So here, these are the problems now we can address with this biotechnology. Break down this word. Bio means life. Technology means technology. What is technology? Technology, science and technology. Come on, be allowed. Which makes our works very easily. What is your college name? Anyone from engineering background? No engineering background. Akash, what is your college name? Full form. Institution of Science and Technology. You studied in that institution. Tell me, what is meaning of technology? At least you have to know your college name, what is the full form, what is the meaning, contributions, everything. Tell me, what is the meaning of technology? Application of scientific knowledge is called as technology. Okay. So here we are applying science techniques in biology. That is called as biotechnology. So we are applying certain science related techniques in plants so that we can make genetically modified plants, so that will be addressing our traditional farming practices related challenges. So what is this gene technology? Every plant or every animal, what is the basic and structural unit? Cell is a basic structural and functional unit of any organism. It may be like plants or it may be like animals. In plants we have plant cell, in animals we have animal cell, and you have to know difference between plant cell and animal cell. Do you know what is the difference between plant cell and animal cell? Plant cell, animal cell. Major difference, at least two difference, tell me. What is the major difference between plant cell and animal cell? Plants are green in color, why? Chlorophyll. They have coloring pigments. Do we have any coloring pigments in our cells? That is a fun basic thing that after seeing that we can see. And next one is cell wall. Cell wall is present in plant cell, but in animal cell there is no cell wall. These are the two major differences that you have to remember. Cell wall is present in plant cell and cell membrane will be there in this animal cell. And cell wall is very tough and animal cell is not that much tough. And next one is coloring pigments will be there in plants and coloring pigments are not there. And rest of the DNA, everything will be like same. Rest of the cell organelles like nucleus will be there, DNA will be there, ribosomes will be there, mitochondria, everything will be there. Okay, the major cell organelle in the cell is nucleus. In this nucleus what we have? Genetic material. Genetic material is nothing but DNA. DNA is double helical structure. In this what we have? Bases, nitrogen bases A, T, G, C, or 4 nitrogen bases commonly seen in this DNA. What we'll do in this genetic engineering? We will remove unwanted thing and we will add whatever the genes that we need in this DNA. That is called as genetic engineering. And through this process, if you are producing any hybrid plant, it is called as genetically modified plant. And we have one more word called as genetically modified organisms. In animals, if you are modifying any genes, through which if you are producing any organism, it is called as GMO, genetically modified organism. If you are getting plants, genetically modified plants. Through these genetically modified plants, we can increase productivity. Yes, we can increase nutritional value. We can make the plants which are resistant in drought or floods, everything. So like that, what are the challenges we have now? we can overcome that challenges through this biotechnology. That is the meaning of this title. Understood? Now let us see this article. So this article is saying that biotechnology offers powerful tool to overcome limitations of traditional farming practices. Okay, and they are focusing on technology like genetic engineering, and they are focusing on CRISPR gene editing, and they are focusing on biofertilizers and precision tools. If we are incorporating these techniques in our agriculture or farming practices, obviously we can overcome whatever the problems we have. Okay, that is the thing which mainly said here. Let us see why this biotechnology is needed now. If you are focusing on traditional farming, they are facing some challenges. What are those challenges? First one is climate change is happening. Sometimes drought, sometimes increase in salinity, sometimes extreme weather. Even in Telangana we had cold wave in the month of November and December. And we have new types of pests and as well as diseases are coming. And recently we discussed about coconut root wilt disease, which is affecting coconut industries in 3 states. Which are those 3 states? Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And even we are having problem of soil degradation. Soil erosion is happening at a very faster pace now. Water scarcity, and even there is declining of yields. Yields is nothing but decreasing of productivity of crops. And even now we have labor shortages. These all are the problems that we are facing in this traditional farming practices. Okay, so because of this, we have to use high chemical inputs. We are also causing pollution, environmental damage, and even they are not sustainable in the long run. So because of this, we need to have this biotechnology now. This biotechnology will be helpful for faster development of stress resistant, high yielding, nutrition efficient crops, and we can reduce the use of synthetic pesticides and fertilizers if you are going for this biotechnology. That is the thing which mainly said, nothing more than that. Okay, see this article guys. 163 children being trafficked to Maharashtra from Bihar. From Bihar, 163 children are trafficked. In between the route in MP, they were rescued, and 8 people were arrested in this trafficking of children case. Now tell me, what is the keyword? Child trafficking. Okay, what is the meaning of trafficking of a child? Trafficking means, in environment there is one program called as traffic. What is this traffic under sites? Okay, buying and selling of children. Traffic means what? Movement. Where you will use this word traffic? There is heavy traffic, no traffic today. Traffic is nothing but we are talking about movement. So trafficking means nothing but there will be illegal movement of children. It is not legal. Illegal movement of children is called as child trafficking. Human trafficking is nothing but illegal movement of humans. Drug trafficking means illegal movement of drug. Arms trafficking is nothing but illegal movement of arms. Are you understanding? Whenever there is illegal movement, that is called as trafficking. In your environment also you will be having this program called as traffic. Have you heard this? Traffic under sites. What it talks about? I think I gave a question on this also. Today only you have test on environment, right? There is one question on traffic. Tell me now. Yesterday only I prepared the paper so that I can recall that. What is the meaning of traffic? In this sites. Today you have exam, no? I think you might have studied. Govind, chap Govind. Huh? It is related to illegal trade of animals and animal products. Poaching, illegal killing and trafficking, that is a illegal movement of animal organs, especially nails. Do you know this? Nails of tiger, claws, skin, sometimes oils which are extracted from these animals, they will be illegally traded because they have high value in traditional medicine, in especially China. China will use everything, right? So there will be very huge demand for animal products in international market of China. So here in that way, whenever you are getting this kind of words, don't just blindly mug it up. Just understand what is the meaning. If you understand meaning, then it will be easy. Whenever you are getting that kind of words, it will be easy to understand everything. Interconnection will be very easy. Okay, now let us see here. Is that good? Is that right? Illegal movement of children, is that right? No. Where it is written, it is not right in our constitution. Any fundamental right? Can you recall it right now? Right against exploitation. Yes, which articles talks about it? Rights against exploitation. Just 1 month to go to your exams. 23, 24 talks about rights against exploitation. Okay. Child traffic, it refers to recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring of children through coercion. Coercion means nothing but force, deception, abuse of power that leads to exploitation of this children. This process is called as entirely child trafficking. Okay, if you see this dimensions of trafficking, trafficking can be happen for different reasons. First one is for organ trade. I think you might have seen this movie Hit 3. In that Hit 3 movie, they will be killing people for organs. And many movies will be showing the kidnapping of people for organ extraction, and they will be selling in the markets, right? So first one is for organ trade, they can traffic the people. And next one is for begging purpose. There are many movies shows about this begging also. Begging is like a big mafia in cities, in even Hyderabad also. Begging. And next one is sometimes forced marriage. 50 years old man will be marrying like 12 years girl or 13 years girl, like that. Forced marriage. And next one is recruitment of children for armed conflict. And next one is for child labor because they are very cheap. And next one is for sexual exploitation, especially girl children. And you know about this esteem files. And next one is forced labor or bonded labor. So these are the different dimensions. And even missing children we can also see. These are the different dimensions of trafficking, guys. And if you see the constitutional frameworks, we have Article 23 and 24 talks about right against exploitation. Especially Article 23 prohibits trafficking in human beings and even forced labor. If there is any trafficking, it will lead to the violation of fundamental rights. Fundamental rights comes under which part of our constitution? Part 3. Whether it is enforceable or not enforceable? Enforceable or not enforceable? Enforceable. DPSP and fundamental duties are not enforceable. Can we amend fundamental rights? Which Supreme Court judgment said that? Come on, think. Is there any Supreme Court judgment related to fundamental rights? What is that then? Keshwananda Bharati tells about BSD. Other judgment. Think. And it is also one PYQ. Okay, see after the class. Okay, let us see about legal framework. And now onwards, you have to remember about BNS, BNSS, but not IPC, CRPC, okay, because it had replaced with our BNS, Indian Evidence Act, right? So, in our BNS, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, sections 143 and 144 provides punishment for human trafficking and sexual exploitation of trafficked children. And under this BNS, what is the punishment? It is imprisonment up to life imprisonment. And next one is we have Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. This act will be focusing on trafficking of children and women for commercial sexual exploitation. And even it also penalizes brothel keeping, procuring and related offences also. It is related to prostitution as well. And next one is Protection of Children from Sexual Offence Act. You know about this POCSO. So if there is any rape or sexual exploitation of children who are less than 16 years of age, that comes under POCSO. And next one is Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013, which provides a proper definition of what is trafficking. And this definition, which also includes sexual exploitation, slavery, servitude, forced labor, organ removal, everything. And next one is we have Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act of 2015. And this act which mainly mandates safety net of institutional and non-institutional care and protection of services for children who are in conflict. And next one is, apart from this, we have many laws in our country. You know about this Bonded Labor Abolition Act, you know about Child Labor Prohibition Act, you know about Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, you know about Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissues Act. So these are the acts which are collectively fighting against child labor, bonded labor, sexual exploitation and immoral use of organs of people. So all these are the things that you have to remember. How can you get a question here is, despite of constitutional safeguards and legal safeguards, still still child trafficking is a major issue in our country. In your view, what do you think? What are the reasons for this? And what kind of measures you suggest? Are you understanding? In this way, you will be getting question, and you have to write a good introduction regarding this data regarding child trafficking in India. Regarding this NCRB data, you can also use, and you can write what exactly definition of child trafficking is, or else you can use this Article 23 in introduction, or else you can use any act, or else section of this BNS you can use in introduction, and you can start your answer. Are you understanding? So here you have to know about what exactly the child trafficking is, what are the reasons, what are the measures taken by the government so far, are there any portals, okay, like that, how science and technology we are using to control this. Okay, so do some research on this, and it is important from your mains, not for prelims. See this next article, guys. Title says Amarnath Yatra to begin from July 3. So here you have to solely see about Amarnath Yatra, where it is located, and some specialities of this yatra, how this Shivalinga is formed. Okay. Now let us see this, and it is important from your history point of view. So there is one cave called as Amarnath Cave. It is in Himalayas, that too in South Himalayas, and this cave is located about 388 meters above sea level, and it can be reached by only foot or by using horses. We can reach that route. Okay. And every year hundreds of thousands of pilgrims, they will make trekking to reach this Amarnath Yatra. And if you see the deity is formed by ice. In Himalayas, you know, there are glaciers from where many rivers will born. Whenever the river it is moving through this cave, because of low temperature, what happens is water will be converted into ice, and that will be appearing as ice Shivalingam, and that is called as Amarnath Yatra. Normally, this Shivalingam gets its full shape in the month of May, and it will begin to melt by August. So here month of May and June we have this Amarnath Yatra. Okay, are you understanding? So when ice melts means we cannot see that ice lingam, right? So only whenever this water converts into ice, during this month of May, we will be having this Amarnath Yatra, guys. Nothing more than that. See this next one, next article. Study unravels why men experience more skin infections than women. Okay, so to understand this, again you have to know the basics of science, biology especially. Okay, normally infections on skin, what kind of infections we can see on skin? Any diseases that you know? Skin disease name, scabies. Have you heard this? Scabies. Do you see at least ads in the TV? They will be showing some ointments, no? Gajji, Durada, Tamara. At least you know that, right? So all those are skin infections. They are mainly caused by what? Skin infections are caused by what? Whenever you are getting sweat, yes or no? Normally during summer time you will be getting more infections compared to the winter time. Have you ever observed that at least on your body? Normally in summer season, because of hotness or heat, what happens? Your body will be producing more and more sweat to cool your body from outside, that we know. So at that time, whenever you are getting more and more sweat, your skin will become damp, right? Some water that you can see here. And what happens? Have you ever have smelled your sweat odor under your arms? Normally, you will be getting very bad odor in summer season, but not in the winter season. Why? The major reason here is there will be more sweat production in summer season compared to that of winter season. Whenever there is more sweat production, that will lead to this increased multiplication of microorganisms more in the month of summer compared to that of winter. So because of this, there is a very high chance of getting skin infections more in summer compared to that of winter. Okay, you will be getting this kind of ringworm infections, fungal infections, bacterial infections on your skin. So now here this article is saying that men are experiencing more skin infections than women. Why? Don't say that reason. Women will be staying in home, men will be going outside, they will be working, they will be hard workers, understand everything, they'll get more sweat. Don't say that. But tell me, what do you think? I know that will be the answer from you, but that is not right. Come on, cosmetics, it is not the reason. Huh? Kiran, what are you saying? So actually the reason here is, in your skin, what are the glands which produces sweat? Name of that glands, anyone? Biology students. No idea, very good. Sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands in your skin will produce sweat. Sweat is produced by the sebaceous glands. And this article is saying that men are more vulnerable to the skin infections than women, because whatever the sebaceous glands they are present in your skin, they will not only produce sweat, even they will produce reproductive hormones. In male, what are the reproductive hormones that are produced? Only one, testosterone. In female, many female reproductive hormones will be there. For example, estrogen, follicle stimulating hormone. Any idea? Progesterone. Have you heard this? Progesterone, estrogen, follicle stimulating hormone. Yes. So here the skin will produce even hormones which makes testosterone readily available to microbes living on the skin surface. Especially, it will boost the growth of one microorganism called as Staphylococcus aureus. And this Staphylococcus aureus is a leading cause of skin infections worldwide. And this skin is producing testosterone more in males. Because of this, what is happening? Because of this testosterone hormone which is available on the skin, it is boosting the growth of the Staphylococcus aureus, and this leads to increased infections. The recent study said that the important function of this sebaceous gland is not only to produce sweat, even it is producing testosterone. This testosterone is leading to increased multiplication of Staphylococcus aureus, that will lead to increased infection risk for males compared to that of females. That is this article. Are you understanding? So you can get a question, what are the functions of sebaceous glands? Till today we know only about sweat is released. Apart from sweat, even testosterone is also released by this sebaceous glands. That will lead to increased infections. Are you understanding? So how you can get a question here is different glands in your body. If you see PYQs, many a times UPSC asked question on these hormones. Pituitary gland, growth hormone. Thyroid gland, which hormone? Parathyroid, which hormone? Gallbladder, hormone. Stomach, like that. They asked many a times questions on these hormones and liquids which are released in our body. Especially they asked about salivary glands which produce amylase. See once PYQ so that you'll get an idea like how they asked questions on this biology part. And there are many a times repeated themes on this. So this time you may get question on the sebaceous glands which are present in the skin. Okay. See, this next article is very important topic, and I'm expecting there may be a question on this. This article is talking about nature signals. It is talking about sentinel species. Please make a note, sentinel. I'm not talking about tribe of sentinelese. It is sentinel species. Okay. So here you have to see what is the meaning of sentinel species and what are the examples of that. That's it, not more than that. Sentinel species are the species whose members' health signals the conditions of ecosystem in which they live. So they are nothing but indicator, bio-indicator species. They tell about the health of ecosystem. And normally, which are the species that we'll call them as sentinel species is? First one here is frogs. Where it is it? First one is frogs. Second one is we'll use birds in this coal mines. And next here, if you see this image, they shown about penguins. What is the problem of this emperor penguins? They are endangered species and their number is decreasing because of climate change. And recently around 60,000 penguins had been died, no? And where we can see this emperor penguins, in which part of the world? Only in Antarctica we can see this emperor penguins. So like that, whatever the species that we have, which are telling about the health condition of environment where they are living, they are called as sentinel species. They are also called as indicator species. So they gave some examples. First one is birds we can use to identify carbon monoxide in this coal mines. And next one is they gave about honeybees. Honeybees will help to track agriculture chemical loads. If you are using more and more chemicals in agriculture, we can see very less honeybees. And next one here is polar bears will monitor Arctic contaminant accumulation. Okay, so and they also gave about this emperor penguins. Emperor penguins tells about warming in this Antarctic region. Okay, so these are some examples of sentinel species they said. Okay, let us see next article. Title says delimitation, not women's reservation is the issue. What is this article? You know about background, everything. Our government passed 106 bill and now we came up with this 106 Constitutional Amendment Act. What it talks about? 33% of reservation of women in Lok Sabha and as well as State Legislative Assembly. Did we implemented that? No. Why? Because they said that after coming up of new census, we'll go for delimitation, and after that we will implement this 33% of reservation. And recently what we discussed, census will become late so that we cannot implement in the next elections. So we are now going to take the census data of 2011. Based on that we will start delimitation and will implement this 33% of reservation. That is the thing which mainly said by the government recently. So here this article is saying that, written by Sonia Gandhi. Because of this it will be very important. So here she is saying that women reservation is not an issue. We can provide reservation, 33% of reservation we can provide. But major problem is delimitation because it is a complex process. So because of this it is a complex process, you may get a question on delimitation, and many a times UPSC asked question on delimitation in prelims case. It is a repeated theme, you can check. How can you get a question? Consider the following statements regarding delimitation. They may give you about delimitation commission. They may give you about members of delimitation commission. They may give you about functions, challenges, who will appoint this, everything, every nook and corner of delimitation is very important this year. Okay, now let us see the facts. What is the meaning of delimitation? Just we are drawing boundaries based on population, and the rule is each and every constituency should have equal number of population. Right, and who will be designing this boundaries? So we have commission called as delimitation commission. It is also called as boundary commission, which will be drawing boundaries. And in India, so far 4 times delimitation had been happened. And on this UPSC already gave you a question. How many times delimitation conducted in India? It is 4 times. And if you are going now, it will be 5th time. And you have to remember years also. First time in 1952 after 1951 census, and after 1961 census 1963, and after 1971 census 1973, next one is 2002. Okay, 52, 63, 73 and 2002. Till today we have 4 times the delimitation. And next, what are the constitutional provisions regarding this delimitation? We have to remember articles. Article 82 and Article 170 talks about readjustment and division of each state into constituencies, and we have parliamentary constituencies and we have assembly constituencies. And we have Article 330 and 332 which talks about refixing of number of seats reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. And now we have to go for reserving of women's seats also after once delimitation is done. And next, if you are talking about the members of Delimitation Commission, we have Supreme Court judge as chairperson. Retired Supreme Court judge will be the chairperson, and along with him we have Chief Election Commissioner and State Election Commissioners as members. And even for ensuring the neutrality, we will be also having the members of associates who are MPs and MLAs. They will also participate. Okay, normally the chairman will be retired judge of Supreme Court. The members will be Chief Election Commissioner of India and State Election Commissioners of concerned state, and we have associate members who will be the MPs and MLAs. And very important point that you have to remember is, once this delimitation commission drawn the boundaries, those boundaries will be final, and that cannot be challenged in any court of law. Very, very important point. Because already we have judge, we have election commissioner, we have state election commissioner, and even associate members are there, MPs and MLAs. If this can be challenged, means that will not ever end anywhere. So because of this, they kept whatever the boundaries drawn by this delimitation commission is final. See these questions, guys. The first one, it is about sentinel species. In this way you may get a question. If you are seeing any species in news or any keyword in the news, they will be asking in this way only question, what is this? Or else they will say sentinel species seen in news, what does it refers? Choose the option which exactly says that. Like that you will be getting this kind of ABCD options only. So here the first option is a species that is very strong and protects environment, ecosystem. Second one is a species used as an early warning signal for environment pollution or danger. C is a species that is found only in one country. Third one is a species that is always at the top of the food chain. They are nothing but they are used as early warning signal for environmental pollution or danger. So you have to remember in this way. Okay, in this way the questions will come. At least minimum 3 questions in your paper will be in this format. It is seen in news what it is. Or else normally, I think you might have studied about your ancient and medieval history. In ancient and medieval history there will be one question in this format. They will give you pagodas, or like in your PYQs they gave about Panchayatana style of architecture is associated with. Like that in medieval and art, in this ancient history, they will pick up the keywords and they will give you in this way, what does it means. For sure there will be one question, you can see the PYQs. In the same way, if there are any words, they will be giving like this. For example, they gave in this way, greenwashing is seen in news, what it is in 2023, I guess. So like that, if there is any keyword in news, you will be getting that type of question. So if you see PYQs, you will be understanding what exactly the language of UPSC, what they are using and how they are giving. See this next question, consider the following statements regarding delimitation in India. Delimitation refers to fixing the boundaries of electoral constituencies based on population. Second one is, it is carried out every census, after every census as mandated by the constitution. The Delimitation Commission is a constitutional body. Which of the statements given above are correct? Is it a constitutional body? Is there any article talking about Delimitation Commission? In your Lakshmikant, you have chapter of constitutional bodies, non-constitutional bodies. In constitutional bodies, you have UPSC, SPSC, Election Commission of India. Did we have Delimitation Commission in that? Have you ever seen the topics in this index? That means for sure it is not there. 3. Eliminate these 3. You eliminated 2 options now, right? 50-50. Now you have 1 and 2 only and C 1 only. Now you have to check only second statement. Leave the first statement. First statement will leave obviously right. See the second statement, it is carried out after every census as mandated by constitution. How many times till today election commission had been, we have delimitation. If it is mandated every census, means how many times we should have this delimitation commission? After every 10 years. But if you see practically, how many times? That means, is that mandatory? Simple logic. Even if you don't know that, if it is not written anywhere, so if you know the facts, you have to use that. Are you understanding? Till today, only 4 times we have this delimitation. Okay, so what will be the answer? Okay, so in that way, you have to use your general knowledge. Nothing, everything will be not written in any book. Any book, nothing, everything A to Z will be not there. But what are the points you are reading? You have to apply your common sense and knowledge properly in the statements. This examination you have to eliminate based on your knowledge. Okay, so whatever the concept that you are reading, so try to apply that. That's it. That's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this class, please hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And if you have not yet been subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe, guys, so that you will be getting lots of insights regarding current affairs. And I wish you all the best. Thank you, guys.